Hello, this is Rob Wagoner with MyCloudIT, and today I want to spend a few minutes and show you how you can install additional applications into an existing remote app or remote desktop deployment for your end users. The first thing I want to show you is we're going to deal with my deployment named West 2. And so to give you a little bit of an overview, West 2 has a desktop collection and a remote app collection. The remote app collection has two servers in it, SessionHost 7 and 8. My desktop collection also has a few servers in it, but what we're going to do is focus on just updating the remote app collection because that's usually the trickiest for customers to do. The next thing I've done is I move over to the RD Web Access page. And so this is what the end user experience looks like from this landing page. If you start the full desktop collection and log into this, and then once logged in, you'll see that Server Manager comes up. Server Manager is a huge help to us because Server Manager will always tell us what computer we're logged into. If you move up here to the RDP bar, you'll see it says RDS Management. And it says RDS Management because that's the name of the connection broker set up for this deployment. It doesn't actually tell us what server we're on. So now here again, we check and see which server. We're going to install, remember, we're going to install applications on SessionHost 7 and 8. So moving back over to the remote desktop session, I'm on SessionHost 0 now. To jump to another SessionHost server, you can either go into the Azure portal and add a public IP to each session host and then remote directly to it. We don't do that because Azure charges for extra public IP addresses, and that creates more of a security risk because now every VM is internet facing. So instead what we do is remote in through the gateway server to SessionHost 0, and then once we're on SessionHost 0, we can jump to other session hosts within the deployment. So the command I want you to remember is mstsc /admin right here. This one will start the terminal server client, the remote desktop connection client, as we call it these days, and ask you what server you want to jump to. So now we put in the name 7 or 8. And anytime we install software, we have to install it on all of the session hosts within that collection. That's what ensures users have access to the software no matter which session host they log into. So now we can just log in here, and it'll start logging us into SessionHost 7. While we're logging into SessionHost 7, we could also go and log into SessionHost 8 as well. We go back to the original VM, mscsc /admin, and then we can go in and say log into SessionHost 8 and present our credentials. The other thing I want to share with you is notice how my first blue bar for the RDS management server is on the far left. So what I've got is I remoted into SessionHost 0. The first time you remote in, this blue bar is across the top like this. Out of habit, I do this now. Because I'm so used to remoting into a VM and then hopping to other VMs, if you're not careful, all of the VM bars will stack on top of each other. So by moving this over and then shrinking it, that way when the second bar comes up in its normal wide spot, I can easily get to it. And then I literally will shrink this down and move it over as well. That's one of my best practices because there have been times when I've remoted like maybe to a third session host from within SessionHost 7. So this way I can stack them up and know where I am, so I don't get confused. But what I did, take notice, was from SessionHost 0, I remoted to both 7 and 8. So I go back to it. Now, you'll get this warning. We can't sign into your account. This is what creates the temporary profile. So as an admin, you will get temporary profile errors when you do this because your temporary profile can only be open within a single session host. And then we get this, you've been signed in with a temporary profile. Now for our normal users, this is a problem. But for an admin doing the kind of work we're doing today, this is expected behavior because the profile got open for SessionHost 7, and so it's open and locked and can't be used for SessionHost 8. SessionHost 8 just has this temporary profile. Just dismiss that. That's nothing to worry about while we're setting things up. But again, as you can see, just out of habit, I shrink these blue bars and move them over. This way, if another one pops up, I still can access it as well. But we're going to do all our work today on SessionHost 7. So what I want to do on 7 is we're going to install Google Chrome and Firefox. Going back to our initial RD web page, as you can see, neither one of those are currently published or installed on the hosts. So this is what it takes to go install them. We log into SessionHost 7. We confirm we're on SessionHost 7 by looking right here. Then we'll just open IE and install Chrome from there. So as an admin, we're going to chrome.com, which redirects us to google.com/Chrome, so we can download and install the Chrome browser. Here we can just say download Chrome, accept and install, and then it'll run the executable. While we're doing that in one tab, we can actually start the download of Firefox as well. So we can move back to the Chrome browser. As you can see, we get the pop-up warning. We're going to run the Chrome setup. Now, by signing in as an admin, this install is now set up for admins so that everybody on the machine gets it. If you don't sign in as an admin, an individual user could install Chrome, but then it would just be available for that user. So now we just wait on this install. And now Chrome is installed. So here's Chrome right here showing up in this new install. So we'll minimize this, go over now and do the Firefox install. Very similar. We start the installer, click run, and now it will install Firefox. Now there's nothing special you have to do during these installs as long as you're signed in as an admin. And here you can see that now Firefox is installed. And so now on this virtual machine, we have Firefox and Chrome installed, and then they even put shortcuts on the desktop for us. Now that we're done with this, we then go over and we need to do the very same thing on SessionHost 8. So remember, we need to install the same software on all session hosts. Now, what I'm showing you is if you already have an existing collection and you want to add something new. You could also, of course, create a new golden image and then republish that. But for 2 session hosts, it may be a lot less effort just to go install it in both session hosts and go on. But if you have 10 session hosts and you have to install all the software on all 10, then it's easier to go update a single golden image and then just redeploy 10 instances of it. But for here, we install the software on the 2 session hosts, then move back over to the MyCloudIT Portal. Then when we go into Applications, under Applications, hit Refresh, and now it will go scan the existing session host for the new software, and then we'll see Chrome and Firefox come up as options here. Okay, now that this refresh has come back, you'll see that we have Firefox and Chrome here as options. So we move back up to Manage, choose Manage, we'll scroll down, choose Firefox and Chrome, scroll to the bottom and click Save Changes. So now it's publishing Firefox and Chrome with the other remote applications. So once this is done, so if we come back over here now and sign out and sign back in, hit a refresh here to reload this page, and now Chrome and Firefox show up. Sometimes it may take just a couple minutes for these to actually show up. It took about 5 minutes for that to occur for me once I published them. Here they are, and now all of your users can access these new applications published through the remote app. Thanks for your time today, and I wish you well.